Yes, we'll be back from the break exactly 6 minutes past 9. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Barije, and it's definitely the 14th of May. That is 2024. It's definitely a Tuesday. And yeah, it's quite a fresh week. The census is ongoing and quite so many activities in the country that are transpiring at that particular time. Well, just to remind you before we get into the discussion today that Smart 24 TV, you can catch us on the channel that is at 370, that is on DSTV, and the channel 320, that is on GOTV. And of course, for those of you that are obsessed with the gadgets, you can go to the Google Play Store, you download the Smart Digital application. Once you have this application, you will definitely be in position to stream Smart 24 TV, Smart FM, and also NBS Radio at the same time, and also Smart 24 TV, Smart 24 TV Live. That's the official streaming handle for any, regardless of any part of the country that you will be at. You could be, in America, Europe, Asia, you can still catch Smart 24 TV and Smart 24 TV. That's the official website for those of you that are trying to be in search of latest updated business facts. That's the home for you in that line. Now, heading into the topic of discussion today, of course, we know that the growth of any business is largely determined by the strength of the sales force of that enterprise. It's very easy to design a business plan. It's very easy to access, capital. You have all these premises, you establish the infrastructure, but the actual work will come into convincing a customer to pay penny to ensure that actually your business grows. Because if you're not making revenue, if you're not selling, then you're not growing. Of course, that brings us to a very interesting discussion here about accelerating accelerating business growth. That is through the power of a high-performing sales force. And my guest this morning is Darlene Sajabi. Is a business development manager and a sales leader at the same time. Maybe just a brief, just to let you know that he holds a degree, holding a degree in legal mind, and of course, before, as we see, knowing the other side, because you could be asking yourself, this person is a lawyer, and what is he doing in sales? So he says that sales is in his blood. He started young at exactly age of 18, launching the first company, that is a tasty yellow yolk, which brought fresh, that is eggs to supermarket shelves. And it was actually a crash course in hustle. That's what we can say. And it's definitely, it ignited a lifelong passion for building successful businesses. Now, of course, talking about Salad Master Uganda, where he became his next challenge, and he joined as an associate. That is the most level entry position, and through sheer dedication and what we can call relentless pursuit of learning, and he rose through ranks. Of course, it wasn't long before he was the leading for the entire East African division, over 1,000, leading over 1,000 salespeople. I guess that is quite an amazing profile from that perspective. But what we can see is that consistency wasn't enough. Of course, he had the best, but a year after, he pushed boundaries and shattered records consistently. Yeah, claiming the number one sport in the world, that is even against established economies, And of course, we are talking about this experience taught him the power of high-performing teams, talking about strategic sales methodologies, and the unwavering belief in achieving excellency. Now, of course, now he's owning a company, ABC Sales, just a month, which is ABC Sales, which is consulting, that is providing value to businesses and raising the value of the salesperson through effective training, and monitoring at the same time. Well, it's quite a very interesting profile. Sajabi, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Yeah. Many thanks for joining us. Very good morning.
Good morning to you too, and thanks for having me here today.
Exactly.
I'm glad to be here, glad to be on TV. It's my first time on TV, so I'm hoping we're going to have a very good
very amazing discussion.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, of course, talking about the concept of sales, this is something that has been, driving people's minds. Many people ask themselves, what is sales? What do I need to do to really make my company grow? But before we get into that dynamics, first of all, what is sales? And we want to understand How is it different from marketing?
That's an excellent question, and it's a question that we get all the time.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've seen happening in so many places, big places, small places, medium companies.
Companies, yeah.
You find that the person they call this, the guy who does sales, it's probably sales and marketing.
Marketing, exactly. Perfect.
And yet there's a big difference between sales and marketing.
Marketing, yeah.
They do work together.
Yes.
There's one of my trainers, he mentioned this analogy. He said, marketing is like planting seeds.
Yeah.
Sales is like harvesting.
Marketing is planting the seeds.
It's planting the seeds, and sales is harvesting. The way you look at it is this way. Marketing brings a funnel. So you can look at like a funnel of leads.
Yeah.
So marketing puts in the leads with everyone. Let's say we are selling a Rolls Royce today. So we have a marketing team. Yeah, we probably have AI also. AI is very good with marketing.
Yeah.
So AI will source for us different leads. Maybe who has $1 million in the bank, who has just purchased a property in Kololo.
So it's the market. It's the marketing.
Now when marketing sources those leads and brings them to the organization, to the company, wherever we are working, it's now the job of the salespeople to now interact. Let's say Joanne is the one with $1 million in the bank. And they think she's the one with the potential to buy
the product.
Our product. A Rolls Royce is what we are selling today.
Exactly.
So this is now the job of the sales team, the salesperson, to go out and engage the client, the customer, show them value, and get them to invest with you. So the difference between sales and marketing is sales closes the deal, marketing brings in the deal.
The deal.
Yeah.
Now you see, there is something here which a very quite a big question here, still regarding that. Many people blame some companies of poor performance, and they blame that the sales team is not doing enough. But then, when you go to the sales team, they tell you, but the product the company is producing is also not marketable. What scenario? Let's weigh a scenario whereby who is responsible to ensure? Is it me as a salesperson? Do I need to have the ability that even when the people in the production department have not done the best quality I assume, I can still stand out in confidence and sell that product?
But you're asking me a question of ethics now.
Let's break that, because I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
We've seen all, for example, for people that love entertainment, and you see what is selling out there. When you weigh its content is not really healthy mentally to people to consume, but because it has all this hype of marketing, people are actually consuming it. We've seen commodities on the market which just are good at packaging. The branding is good, but the content in it is not really appealing as compared to somebody that is so good at something. He has the quality, but it doesn't have connections, doesn't know the right people. So that brings me to ask that question. Is there a possibility that some people, as a marketeer, you could be skilled enough to even market a product that doesn't perhaps have the content that is necessary for that consumer?
Yes. And that's very true. And unfortunately, that has also been the view of the salesman in society.
Yes.
Every time you mention you're in sales, people say you're a con man, you're a thief, you're a liar, you are manipulators. And all that sort of conversation. Now, the way we have chosen to define sales, and I'm glad you mentioned ABC Sales Consulting, what we have seen with the marketplace with me and my partners, we are 3 people, we are 4 partners actually, so there are 3 other partners that I work with. Each and every single one of them has experience of over 10 years in sales.
10 years in sales. Okay.
Each and every single one of them has sold a high-ticket product to high-value customers.
Okay.
We have worked with teams all over East Africa. That's Uganda, Congo, Mauritius, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, and everywhere. So we have seen all kinds of salespeople.
Okay.
We have seen the liar salesperson. We have seen the salesperson that comes in as young as 17, as young as 17, as young as 17,
exactly,
and goes to a customer's home who is over 50, 60 years plus, pitches to them a product that is worth $15,000, and the customer pays the money.
Okay, I see.
And then we'll have some 30-year-olds salespeople who will also come in, liar mentality, and maybe may not make it as much, So we've chosen to define sales. What is sales? Sales is the process of understanding the customer's needs and presenting a solution.
So there's element of solution in it.
There's element of solution. So there has to be a need. You have to present a solution, and this solution has to create value for the customer.
Okay.
You cannot convince or you cannot force someone to buy something they don't want to buy.
But I think that would make you a good salesperson.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because I think, because I'm told that when you're going to the interviews of sales, they tell you, okay, convince me that I'm giving you my pen, basic
Convince me to buy this, yeah.
Convince me to buy this pen. And I'm thinking, I think sometimes it goes beyond that I can have I can create or evoke an impulse in you to feel like, I think I didn't want to buy this, but I think I need it.
Now, what you're talking about is identifying the need.
As a salesperson.
So what does this person need the pen for? Because yes, they always talk about a pen. If your secretary brought you a check and you have signed checks for people to get paid and you have no pen, you pay for this pen.
Okay.
If you have something important to write in your book right now and you need the pen now, you pay for the pen. I used to give this analogy when I was doing presentations back in the day. I would always go and imagine a scenario because, of course, one of the challenges that salespeople face is you always know the objections you're going to receive.
Yeah.
So one of the objections you receive is the price is too high.
The price
is too high. So when your client tells you the price is too high, what they're simply telling you is you haven't yet shown me enough value. It means
my goodness.
Your value.
Repeat that. So whenever client tells you, but your price is so high, it simply means you have not showed them the value. Because when you reveal the value, the price melts away. That's interesting. I think that is key. You've made that is a nice breaker. Continue. I mean, I like this line.
So the example I'd always give is a glass of water.
Yeah.
A glass of water here could be free. Yeah, maybe 500 shillings, maybe 1,000 shillings a bottle of Renzori.
Yes.
Right now when we are sitting in this office. But that same bottle of water, if you were in the Sahara Desert, you've not taken water for 2 weeks, but you have $20,000 in your pocket.
To take you that, yes, yeah.
And this person is holding a Renzori bottle of water.
Okay.
What is the value of that water then?
I can mention my price. I can tell you to buy it at $10,000 and you have to buy it.
And you have to buy, isn't it? It almost becomes priceless.
Priceless.
Isn't it? Because life is priceless. So the question that salespeople almost have to encounter every single time is, there's a product here, and I wish there was ever a product you presented and the customer said, yeah, I think that's a perfect price. It never happens. Even if you're selling chewing gum, even if you're selling water, even if you're selling medicine, as long as you present a product to someone, their first objection always has to be on price.
On price.
Yes. Now, another thing that we decided to deal with when it comes to ABC Consulting, you mentioned it, is adding value through training to the salesman. Now, briefly, maybe I'd just like to give a brief history on the sales in Uganda.
In Uganda. We can talk about it. Yeah.
We can talk about sales in Uganda. No, so we've always had sales in one way or another, which has been deal making, maybe as far back even before the British came, barter trade, before we got currency and all that. Yes. So that was some form of selling. However, if you look at the evolution of sales and maybe almost all professional courses in Uganda, a doctor gets training for I think 8 years plus.
8 years plus.
An engineer gets training 5 years plus. An architect gets training 5 years plus. A lawyer gets training 5 years plus.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Mass media, I think it's 4 years plus.
About 4 years, yeah.
However, the one thing that has always been keen to ask is, I have never had or I have never seen anyone going anywhere and they say, I'm applying for a bachelor's in sales.
Sales and marketing. Okay, just sales.
Bachelor's in sales. There will be bachelors in marketing. There will never be bachelors in sales.
You're making me now to be critical about these courses.
When you come to think about all the additional learning in universities, vocational institutions, name it. And I don't know if it's just Uganda, I stand to be corrected, but I've never had a friend even come from abroad and say, I'm coming back from Cyprus, I'm coming from the UK, and you say, okay, what did you study? Bachelors of Sales. They didn't exist. Okay. And yet we expect these people, so with no training, They are normally, I was watching one of the interviews of Daniel Chowdhury. He has been doing this for quite some time. And I remember he mentioned, he said, sales has the worst onboarding process. They're the last people that companies think about when they're onboarding. Okay. So it's almost like they'll take in anyone to do sales. If you even see the ads, you know, for if you're hiring for managers and for journalists and for what, they'll say bachelors in this, bachelors in this, education in this.
But nobody talks about...
But when sales is 18 plus, just come.
I get you. Yes,
just come.
It's more like it's something like that made it feel like any person can actually do sales. Because I'll be honest with you, most people will tell you that their penetration point in any company, they came as salespeople. So exactly. Yeah, that's their profession.
Exactly.
Absolutely, right?
So they will come in as salespeople. Yeah. Then after 3 or 4 months, after they show their value, they now become something else. In a bank, they'll become a cashier, they'll become a relationship manager, but always sales. So why is there a high turnover rate? Just imagine someone asked a doctor, a neurosurgeon. Let's say someone asked you right now, they said, go and perform this surgery. Do you think you...
I'll definitely not do it.
You won't do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we ask you to go and lay pipes, we say we want to lay pipes in Kampala for national water, we've given you the job, go and start laying the pipes. You may struggle to do it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that is why there's a huge turnover rate.
For salespeople.
For sales. Because they are not given training, because even the people in the positions don't have the training to give them. So they'll just onboard them, say here, go and sell. And then at the end of the month, we're asking, why is there no return? Why does it always seem like the sales department is lacking? So it just goes back to the history of sales and how it has evolved. And that is why most organizations look at them like that. But maybe as we close on this topic, I wanted to ask, let me give you a scenario. If you are selling handbags, I know some of our viewers probably sell handbags, swimsuits, shoes, hustle on YouTube, Instagram, wherever, TikTok. If I go to a salesperson, because the average handbag would say for a lady is about 100,000, 50 to 100,000. Yeah. If I go to a salesperson and he promised he can sell you 10 bags a day, that means this person can generate for you between 500,000 to 1 million shillings every day.
Every day.
What is the value that you would attach to that person?
I mean, that person is definitely the heart of my company.
That's the heart of the company, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we are more inclined to pay other people more
than the salespeople.
So we are getting money from sales.
They are told that they earn on a commission.
And we're earning them on a commission. So we're also here to change the value and the position of a salesperson, as well as providing value to companies.
Amazing, amazing. Exactly 23 minutes past 9. I'm definitely still returning with Sajabi Dalin. He's actually a business development manager and sales leader at the same time, ABC Consult. Well, let's take a break. Of course, we're still returning to discuss matters to do with business efficiency with a high sales force. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Of course, every year, MTN Uganda, we are the biggest music supporters in the country. So we are here to support hip hop Kunalubale, Fefe Busi. For our customers out there, we are urging you to download the Momo app so that you can buy yourself a ticket on the concert day. We are asking you to support him, download his caller tune. Every top of the hour, we are going to reward the winner with 100,000 shillings. So all you have to do is download the caller tune. It's only 700 shillings. And we give you 100 kekagwira or to buy more drinks, more eats, more vibes. It's all hip hop. Kunalubale.
Mwebale nnyo mwebalire ddala MTN okunzikiririzaamu mwabatuweesa value. Thank you for the caller tunes. My caller tunes bannanga talina kayimba ka FFBC mu ssimu yo obwo buzibu bwo naye era busobola okukoma wano leero kati osobola okunyiga *170* n'onyiga 57# n'ofuna caller tune oba kayimba ka FFBC wo wonna wooli. MTN Momo, thank you so much for coming on board. Beba abatusalideko tiketi okuzijja kweri price gye nali nagiwanikako ne bangamba fefe oli wakabi nnyo katukutolereko ku zino ssente ne bakyali bo bonna gye bali yonna basobole okwaffordinga era okujja. Thank you MTN, thank you for the support of Ugandan music. I love you so much.
Tusja kubabya ye yali engombo batakate kosi watuje natandikira bavubu kamba wakubanga future gwede munze ekyo kyabulijjo gunditegeeza munno kingisa hawali fefe kuludawali kanoni mumulegera yetulidde
Bulu magic is my joy. Ono bulu magic ye wange. Ayo talaba kumabala atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange tayisa bubi fabriki kyonna kyekiri kigwalwa bulu magic is my choice. Ono bulu magic ye wange. And the bulu magic is my choice. Hey, ono bulu magic ye wange.
Pay school fees with MTN Momo. Dial *165 *4 *3#. Select option 2, School Pay. Select Pay Fees. Enter the student's ID number that's provided by the school. You'll receive a summary of the student's information and any outstanding balance. Enter the amount you're paying. Enter your MTN mobile money PIN to confirm the payment. It's simple, secure, and convenient.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
The National Population and Housing Census 2024 is here. Uganda is to conduct the Census 2024 this May to update our population status that will support government to plan for every citizen. The numeration team is in the field to respond to all the necessary interests by you and me as they register all of us. Note that the census night is 9th May 2024. Let us all be part of this exercise by working with the numerators, provide correct data and information. This exercise is to assist the government in planning government resources properly, provide efficient service delivery, and the formulation of national policies. The numeration will start on the 10th to 19th, 2024, and the counting will be done at our homes or places of residence. The Census 2024, it matters to be counted. This message is brought to you by Dr. Chris Mukiza, the Executive Director, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, and the Government of Uganda.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel, so visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasand Hotels, luxury redefined.
Smart 24, driving business.
Exactly 29 minutes to the top of the hour. Smart Means Business. I'm Managing Barija, and my guest this morning, Sajabi Darlin, who is a sales leader. He's a business development manager and a sales leader. And we're discussing the aspect of accelerating business growth through the power of high-performing sales. Of course, talking about high-performing sales force. Of course, as we are winding up before in the first half, Sajabi was mentioning something about the high turnover of salespeople, and I think this happens to be something that we normally underlook these people in a way of, we think of them last. But I think we are in a notion here whereby that mindset has to change and see salespeople in quite a different way. But of course, as we proceed, who exactly needs sales training?
Excellent question, and that's another question we get all the time, because especially with some of these speaking engagements that we do, you find that some people ask you the question. They say, so is this just for salespeople? Is it only sales and marketing?
Marketing, exactly.
Yeah. So we're also of the view that, because remember, what was our definition of sales? Sales is a process of building relationships, understanding customer needs, and presenting solutions that mutually benefit everyone. So, a father, I'm a father to almost a 2-year-old. She's 2 on June 2nd.
Interesting. Congratulations.
Thank you. So, one of the struggles we face with the missus is trying to communicate our ideas and our message to her. So, by communicating with her different times and through practice, we've gotten to find that some methods we use, we can communicate our message to her, our ideas to her, and she'll buy them. If she does not buy into our ideas, she'll just continue crying, tantrums, Exactly. So, down from a father, someone even asked me, what about an employee? Even if you're managing a manager in a company, let's say, and you report to someone, you report to a board, every time that you're reporting to that board, you are selling yourself. You're selling your ideas. You're selling how you speak, how you communicate, how do you relate with them, how do you remember we talked about sales is building relationships. Some people stay in jobs because they built relationships.
Absolutely.
Even when they may not have the necessary qualifications. So also in today's fast-paced world, everyone has a side hustle. Everyone knows right now your 9 to 5 can't cut it.
Exactly.
If you want to make extra income, you probably have to sell something. Could be bags, shoes, could be a podcast. Could be anything, could be a show on YouTube. But there has to be an element
of sales.
So as long as sales is involved, there has to be an element, one, of persuasion. What people call manipulation is actually persuasion.
Let's talk about, what's the difference between, by the way, manipulation and persuasion?
Manipulation is when you get someone who doesn't need something and you force it down their throat.
Then persuasion?
Persuasion is me identifying your needs, because again, like we mentioned earlier, every time you in a sales conversation or a presentation, your customer doesn't want to buy.
Already, when you're starting your presentation?
The moment you start, there's we call it sales resistance. It's like at this level, we used to say like this, it's like every time you go for a presentation, your customer is like this. They're looking at you like
exactly.
So every time you say sales, they're like, But as you start to ask them, so what could this mean to you? Could this be of value to you? When you start asking them good questions, they begin to take their guard down slowly by slowly, and then they're allowed to let you in. So everybody that is interacting with people, as long as you're pushing your ideas, whether you're a boss, whether you're an employee, whether you're a salesperson or not, whether you're a doctor, you've heard of excellent doctors but have no patience.
Exactly.
And then you've heard of rubbish doctors that are good at sales and have patience. Same with lawyers. Right now, what every law firm needs is client acquisition. Now, the language of client acquisition is different from the language of lawyering.
Okay.
If you go in front of your clients and you're throwing article this, section this, clause this, your customers, of course, your clients feel impressed. They say, yeah, this is good, but have you really communicated?
Okay.
If you went to a hospital and a doctor is throwing around big words, big medicines, that's not what they do. He says, I'm going to give you this for this. He's giving you a medicine that is going to heal your pain. So even when you go home, if you notice, most people when they go home, they'll say, they gave me this for headache, that's going to remove my headache. This is going to remove the stomach ache.
Stomach ache.
You don't even know what it's called, but what are you relating to? The feeling that you're going to get by using the product. So everyone needs sales training. And then, of course, the salespeople. Many of them have not had proper sales training. I think even Chowdhury mentioned this in one of his interviews. They are just thrown in the deep end.
The deep end.
You onboarded today, we hand you a paper, go and look for cash. And what are they doing? They're doing cold calling, they're facing objections in the field. You're asking them to close deals of 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. But what sort of mindset have you given this person? What sort of training have you given this person? And then have you taken them out to the field to watch you and learn from you? The reason why most executives can't do that is because they also haven't gotten the necessary skills in order to do that training. So everyone needs sales training, and everyone who is pushing a product or service, anyone who faces anxiety, because part of sales training, again, is how do you speak? How do you relate to people?
The confidence that you boldly speak and tell somebody that, hey, get out that $10,000 and you need this product, and it will
that
work for you.
confidence level.
Exactly.
And that comes from skill.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the sales mastery course.
Yes. So again, given the gap, because we notice there's a huge gap in the market. When we said ABC Sales Consultancy, it's been running for about 1 month now, but we've been able to go to several different organizations, and you find that all of them are facing the same problem.
The same problem.
That was so strange and so powerful for me to find at the same time. Because you're visiting completely different organizations.
Yes.
They don't know each other. They don't have the same workforce. It's not the same people you're seeing, but every organization you go to, they are all giving you the same problems.
Okay.
And what are these problems? Sales. Every morning, I think any CEO anywhere, any business person, every morning once they wake up, the first thing they're thinking about is sales.
Sales, absolutely.
How do we generate more money? How do we generate more money? How do we generate more money? Now, unfortunately, the economy is a bit on a squeeze, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolute squeeze.
The economy is on a squeeze.
Yes.
So what does that mean? When the economy is on a squeeze, it doesn't mean there's less money. No. It simply means you have to be more skilled, more talented, more educated, and more trained in order to go and visit these clients and pull out that money from them.
So the money is actually there.
The money is there.
Because I actually, I keep telling people, if people say money is scarce, has it been banned?
It hasn't been.
It hasn't been banned.
Yeah.
But it's kept somewhere.
So there will always be money for people to do what they need,
to do.
So how do you present this value proposition? So one of the things we decided to do is we're going to do a sales mastery course. This is going to be the first. We're starting the first on the 10th. It's a 5-day course.
5-day course.
But it's going to be in-depth. Who needs this course? Again, many of the companies we've come across, they are tech companies. And I don't know if there are any tech people watching, they'll forgive me.
No, it's okay, talk about it.
Yeah, what I've noticed about tech companies is they're excellent at product building.
They build the products.
They build the products. Now, because they've built the product, they become product junkies. Let me explain that. They become so focused on the product is this, the product has this, you can drop down here, the product will this. They're so focused on the features
of the product,
and yet the customer is more interested in what the product can do for me. Let me give you an example.
Yes.
If you are paying for a holiday, you are going on holiday with your family, you know, and you're going to a travel agency. The travel agent, let's say you're going to Dubai on holiday, you know, you're going to fly about Emirates, and then you sleep at a 5-star hotel, 5 days and all that. You'll be by the beach. The travel agent is not going to spend a lot of time telling you about the aeroplane. The travel agent is going to say, so you're going to be about the Airbus A380. You know it's a double-decker bus. It's the only one.
I don't want to know that.
That's not what you're interested in.
Exactly.
What you're interested in is you're going to be by the beach. Imagine that sand in your feet. Imagine the wind. You know, if the madam has some hair. So
exactly.
The travel agent is like, so imagine your hair just blowing in the wind.
Blowing up.
Imagine going and having dinner in the sky. You know, imagine going on a boat cruise in the evening, having dinner on the boat. Then they'll tell you about going shopping at Dubai Mall. So what they're selling to you is the experience of the product and not the product. So unfortunately, most people are trained, because that is the level of training, to deal with the product as opposed to the experience of the product.
Or the value that the customer is going to get from the product.
Exactly. Now we are getting together.
You see, when you talk of tech companies, I've normally seen so many people developing applications. And you know, somebody tells you, hey, I developed these, and you know, I give it these back ends, and it sounds good. The codes are so interesting. But then I'm trying to relate to this, saying, okay, why do I need this? Okay, even if it's for free, why do I need to go to Play Store and fill my space with your application of 30, 50 MBs?
Yes.
You've spoken well on that.
Yeah, because again, it's the training.
It's the training.
It's just the training. So part of the things we're going to do in that training is communication essentials. So that is what I've tackled first. How do you communicate your message clearly to your target audience? How do they resonate with your message? How do they take it in? Because again, many of the people we are dealing with are tech people. They are pitching in front of 1,000 people, 900, 500 people for seed capital. And you'll see many of them going in, you watch the pitch, and it's just dead. You see an excellent product, but because of a lack of a good pitch, they lose out on potential revenue. So part of what we're going to do in that training is that, of course, we shall also train on closing techniques.
Closing a deal.
Closing the deal. Because that is what everyone wants me to talk about.
Let's talk about that. I mean, it has given lots of people hard time.
Yes.
It's easy. I mean, I've seen people, let me tell you something. I've seen people do things. I mean, somebody makes a call and, I mean, what they're talking shows you that, oh, this client is going to be of great use. It's going to bring in the money in the company. But 3 months down the road, the company, the client doesn't seem to respond. So, in other words, it seems easy when you sit down at the clients and tell them you have this. They will sit and listen to you, but then closing. And sometimes we deceive because you have lots of people that are willing to listen to you, and it makes you feel like you're a good marketeer.
Now, closing is one of those things that that gives 99.9% of the population anxiety. And the reason it gives them that anxiety, again, it goes back to where we started from, lack of training.
Lack of training.
Just lack of training. Because there are very simple closing techniques that you can use that can make sure you close deals more effectively. What do I mean? You can look at something as simple as, they call it pros and cons list. So let's say you're with a customer, you're the client, you're selling, let's say tech, you're selling tech, you're trying to onboard them, it's a mobile banking platform or something. And you know they're being slow to close. You've met the decision makers. Of course, you have to make sure you're in front of the people that can make a decision.
The decisions,
yes. So prospecting is also part of our course. So now you've come to the part of the close, and the client is being, you know, I need to think about it because, again, it's what you mentioned earlier. You know the objections you're going to get.
Exactly.
It's either going to be the price is too high. We need to think about this, you know. I need to talk to other people.
And let me first talk to my superiors. I've had that so many times.
Exactly.
So, to my experience.
So you know everything that you're going to face, or maybe this is not a perfect timing for this product, or we've chosen to go with someone else. So you know almost the 10 objections your clients are going to give you, depending on your product or service.
Okay.
So one of the simplest clauses you can use, again, we don't have so much time, so I don't want to get so much into it, but you just draw up a list of pros and cons. I think it's Benjamin Franklin who
pros and cons.
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin used to use this all the time, from American president. So you just draw up a list of pros and cons, and then you start pros, cons. So most likely, if you're selling a good product, your only con will be price. Maybe we are using somebody else. Yeah, or maybe timing. But let's say you're selling, again, a mobile banking platform. You're selling ease. You're selling security, which means you're selling peace of mind for your customers. You're selling efficient, which means saving on time. Instead of people having to go USSD and all that. You're selling a one-stop shop where people can come and easily access their information. So if your product is good, the pros, the good things, should be more than the bad things.
Okay.
So at the end of listing that, because now you've listed positive and negative, so you just show the client. You say, so Andrew, it could appear to me as if the good outweighs the bad.
So if the good outweighs the bad, is that going to make the client?
So you ask the client a question, say, so if this would be a good thing for you, and you feel like it would be a good fit for you, then why don't you go ahead and try it today?
Okay.
Most people are scared of asking clients for money. That is where the biggest problem comes. I believe over 60% of sales calls end without negotiation for money, because people are scared of rejection. They say, if I ask this person for money, he's going to say no, so let me just present. So they become presenters and not sellers.
Wow.
Now, one of the most effective, again, things that we teach in this training is relational selling.
Relational selling.
Remember the definition of sales is building relationships. So how do you build relationships, master those relationships, and are able to benefit from them? And of course, one of the most powerful things that we are going to teach, this is something that I'm very, very passionate about, because this almost even eliminates the use of closing techniques, the power of questions.
The power of questions.
The power of questions. Yeah. The importance of asking the right questions to understand. To
your clients.
Yes. The customer's needs. You know, there's this old saying that they'll even say it in Luganda. Say, oyo aine chirimi.
Akarimi. Exactly. He can speak. Yeah.
Gone is the day of a salesman who speaks a lot. In fact, right now in a presentation, you should be speaking about 30% of the time.
And 70% is demonstration?
70% should be the client speaking, because the client, the demonstration is not about you, it's about the client. Maybe I can give you this example. The best people at using this technique, doctors. Just think about your visit to a doctor.
I speak more than the doctor. He listens and he knows my solution, and he can figure out questions.
So how are you doing today? I'm fine, maybe it's hurting. He say, okay, did that start yesterday, today? If it's a cough, is it dry, is it productive, is it wet? Do you get anything in your nose? Do you get a runny nose? Do you get a headache when you have a stomachache? He will ask you questions. And then at the end of that, he'll say, okay, so go for these tests. When you're back with the results, you say, okay, so I think you have this, go to the pharmacy here, they give you the medicine. You're not even bargain, by the way. No one goes to the hospital and says, but this is have 95.
Amazing.
Because you need it. So it's the power of questions. Salespeople should not be speaking a lot. We are going to become salespeople that identify the needs of the customer, identify what could be valuable to the customer, and then we design our solution based on the value that we can provide to that customer.
So, when you speak too much, you become a good presenter.
Exactly.
You're doing my job.
Exactly. You become almost like a journalist.
A journalist.
Yeah, we have this saying in sales. They say telling is not selling.
Yeah.
Telling is not selling. Asking is selling. When you're telling them, you're just presenting. You become a presenter. But when they're the ones speaking to you, then you actually sell it.
So most salespeople would actually be good journalists in disguise. Well, that brings us to the end of today's discussion. My guest this morning has been Darling Sajabi. He's a business developer, he's a sales manager and a consultant, of course, from ABC. And we've been discussing matters to do with accelerating business growth with a high sales force. Well, with that, coming to the end, 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Great things from all the way we started the show. Doreen and Masika Tsime, of course, drove you all the way from 7 a.m. Till 8:59 a.m. And that brings us to the end today. Have yourselves a wonderful time. Stick around. Good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasand Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy, exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty,